Have you ever had a moment of unsettling déjà vu? Not just the fleeting feeling of having been somewhere before, but a deeper, more profound sense that you're living the same story over and over again, just with a different cast of characters. Perhaps it's the same kind of relationship that always ends in the same kind of heartbreak. Or the same career path that leads to the same feeling of being undervalued and burnt out. If you've ever paused and wondered, why does this keep happening to me? Then you've stood at the doorway of one of the strangest and most tantalizing ideas in all of psychotherapy, the concept of the repetition compulsion. This theory, at its core, tells us that as a result of certain early life traumas, wounds that have not been properly understood, processed, and unpicked, we are subconsciously inclined to keep putting ourselves back into, and in effect, repeating difficult situations from the past. It's a paradox that can feel maddening, because these situations often run directly counter to our conscious desires and emotional needs in the present. We say we want peace, but we choose chaos. We say we want love, but we're drawn to rejection. Let's make this more concrete. For example, we may be tempted to keep falling in love with people who, in one way or another, make us suffer. They might be emotionally distant or cold, leaving us in a constant state of guessing, striving for a crumb of affection. They might be muddled or chaotic, pulling us into their drama and making their problems our own. Or, in our professional lives, we might constantly wind up in jobs where we try desperately to please a tricky, demanding boss. We work late. We go the extra mile. We pour our soul into the work, all in the hopes of finally getting that nod of approval. But then, inevitably, we're overlooked, rejected, and eventually, we're either dismissed or we leave, completely depleted. But here is where the idea shifts from being simply tragic to being profoundly meaningful. There's a crucial nuance here. Our unconscious mind is not a simple masochist. We are not generally just hunting out an awful situation and then attempting to repeat the whole of it. Pain for pain. That would be a simple death wish. No. What we're actually doing is something far more complex and, in a way, more hopeful. We are trying to find a story that is familiar enough for us to be drawn to eat, a story whose emotional landscape we know by heart. And then, once we are back inside that old, familiar story, what we're attempting to do is to finally give it a different ending. Think about it this way. We might subconsciously seek out a partner who is just as emotionally distant as our mother was. The initial dynamic feels strangely comfortable, like a well-worn shoe, even if it's a shoe that pinches. But this time, our adult self has a new script in mind. This time, we want to be the one who gets them to open up. We want to take them to therapy. We want to have the long, searching, healing dialogues that we, as a helpless child, could never initiate. We want to help them see their own wounds, understand their coldness, and in doing so, finally act as their protector, their healer, and their guide. In healing them, we believe we can finally heal that original wound within ourselves. Or, let's take the other example. We find ourselves drawn to the same sort of angry, critical man that our father was. The volatility feels familiar. The tension in the air is a language we understand. But this time, our adult self refuses to play the old role. Instead of cowering under the sofa in fear, we want a chance to stand our ground. We want to be able to get to the root of their rage. To understand it. To appease it with our wisdom and strength. And then, finally, ensure that they will treat us with the kindness and respect we always deserved. In essence, we are seeking in adulthood for a second chance. It's a profound, unconscious quest to rectify a traumatic dynamic that our unavoidable childhood weaknesses, our powerlessness, our dependence, our limited understanding meant that we were never originally able to fix. So, what does it truly mean to give a story a better ending? It means bringing all the powerful resources of our adulthood to bear on the unresolved difficulties of an emotionally compromised childhood. It means using our wisdom, our financial independence, our emotional intelligence, our ability to walk away, all the tools we simply didn't have as children, to finally master a situation that once overwhelmed us. This idea of story completion lends a much more hopeful and compassionate angle to the concept of repeating the past. It reframes our seemingly self-destructive patterns. We aren't merely driven by a blind urge to suffer. We are being motivated by something much more creative. Something deeply human, a desire to identify something in the here and now that feels a bit broken. Just like it used to be. And then here is the crucial part: we have a powerful wish to repair it with our adult strengths. It's a quest to heal the past by engaging with the present. All in the hope of being able to finally move on. To put the story to rest. And to find true, unburdened freedom. The first step in breaking this cycle, then, is not self-blame, but radical self-awareness. It's about having the courage to look at the patterns in your life and ask the hard questions. Why does this person feel so familiar? What earlier story does this dynamic remind me of? When you can connect the dots between your present-day struggles and your past experiences, the pattern loses much of its mysterious power over you. It's no longer a nameless fate. It's a recognizable echo. And once you recognize the echo, you gain the power to choose. You can hear the siren song of the familiar, painful story. And instead of steering your ship towards the rocks, you can acknowledge it. Honor the part of you that is still trying to heal. And then consciously, deliberately, turn the wheel in a different direction. A direction that might feel unfamiliar, even scary, but one that leads to a new and unknown shore, one of peace and genuine connection. Ultimately, understanding the repetition compulsion transforms it from a life sentence into a treasure map. It's a map that points directly to our deepest, most tender wounds, not so we can pour salt in them, but so we can finally cleanse them and allow them to heal. By becoming conscious of these powerful undercurrents, we gain the power to stop being a passive actor in a tragic play written long ago. We can step off the stage, walk into the audience, and become the director of our own lives. We can learn to thank the old story for the lessons it taught us, for the strength it forced us to build. And then, with compassion for the child we were and with confidence in the adult we have become, we can choose to write a brand new story. A story not of endless repair, but of authentic joy, profound love, and deserved happiness. A story written on our own terms, with a truly beautiful and peaceful ending. This journey of self-discovery is one of the most important you will ever take. It's challenging, but it is also the path to liberation. If these ideas resonate with you, and you are on a path to better understand yourself and build a more conscious, fulfilling life, we invite you to join our community. This is a space for deep exploration. Please subscribe to our channel for more content that delves into the fascinating, complex, and beautiful landscape of the human mind. We'd be honored to have you with us on the journey ahead.